Could your morning routine be secretly undermining your health after 60s? Martha, a 73-year-old retired teacher, thought her daily breakfast of instant oatmeal and orange juice was perfectly healthy until her doctor delivered shocking news about her blood sugar and kidney function. Research now shows that 5 common breakfast foods can accelerate aging, increase disease risk, and rob you of energy when eaten regularly after 60. What you're about to discover could change everything for you too. So you want to know about dangerous breakfast foods after 60. I get it, and I'm going to give you exactly what you need. But here's the thing, you're also going to learn why your body processes these foods differently as you age, and how simple swaps can transform your health. The last food I'll cover is something special. It's hiding in most senior-friendly breakfast options. Did you know that 84% of adults over 60 eat at least one potentially harmful breakfast food daily? It doesn't have to be that way. Make sure you stick around because this information could help you avoid serious health complications. And if this helps you, imagine how it could help others in your life. Food number 1, ultra-processed breakfast products. This next one will shock you because these foods are specifically marketed to seniors. Meet Edward, a 78-year-old widower who relied heavily on convenient breakfast options after his wife passed away. Edward's typical morning included packaged breakfast bars, instant pancake mix, and flavored coffee creamers because they required minimal preparation and lasted weeks in his pantry. Over 18 months, Edward experienced increasing fatigue, digestive problems, and elevated blood pressure that his doctor couldn't fully explain with medications alone. Everything changed when Edward's daughter helped him examine the ingredient lists of his breakfast staples and discovered the shocking amount of sodium preservatives and artificial additives he was consuming daily. Here's what Edward discovered: ultra-processed breakfast foods contain harmful chemicals and excessive sodium that can be particularly dangerous for aging bodies. Research from the Cleveland Clinic shows that adults over 60 are especially vulnerable to the negative effects of food additives, preservatives, and excess sodium found in processed breakfast products. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at filtering excess sodium, and our digestive systems become more sensitive to artificial ingredients. Scientists have found that seniors who consume high levels of processed foods experience accelerated cognitive decline, increased inflammation, and higher rates of cardiovascular disease compared to those eating whole foods. How can you tell if processed breakfast foods are affecting your health? Pay attention to feeling bloated or uncomfortable after eating breakfast, even when you haven't eaten large portions. You might notice increased thirst throughout the morning or afternoon, swelling in your hands and feet. And you could also experience energy crashes that seem to occur a few hours after eating. These aren't normal parts of aging. They're often reactions to the additives and excess sodium in processed foods. The good news is transitioning away from processed breakfast options is easier than most people think. Start by reading ingredient labels and avoiding products with more than 5 ingredients or ingredients you can't pronounce. And gradually replace one processed item each week with a whole food alternative like fresh fruit, plain yogurt, or simple oatmeal. Throughout your day, focus on foods that don't need ingredient labels because they're naturally single ingredients. The beautiful part is most people notice improved energy and reduced bloating within just 1 week of reducing processed food intake. And you can feel confident that you're reducing your risk of serious health complications. If you've ever felt worse after eating foods that were supposed to be convenient and healthy, you know that marketing claims don't always match nutritional reality. Food number 2, high-sugar breakfast options disguised as healthy. This one might surprise you because many of these foods are recommended specifically for seniors. Consider Ruth, an 80-year-old grandmother who prided herself on making healthy choices and followed her doctor's advice to eat more fruit. Ruth's breakfast routine included a large glass of orange juice, a bowl of Raisin Bran cereal, and a banana, believing this combination provided essential vitamins and fiber. However, Ruth began experiencing unexplained fatigue, frequent hunger between meals, and difficulty concentrating during her morning activities. When Ruth's blood work revealed elevated blood sugar levels, Her doctor explained that her healthy breakfast contained as much sugar as a candy bar and was causing dangerous glucose spikes. What Ruth learned changed everything. Many breakfast foods marketed as healthy contain excessive amounts of natural and added sugars that can be harmful to aging metabolisms. Studies conducted at Harvard Medical School found that adults over 60 experience more dramatic blood sugar fluctuations than younger adults due to decreased insulin sensitivity and slower glucose metabolism. When seniors consume high-sugar breakfasts, even from natural sources like fruit juice, their blood sugar can remain elevated for hours, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes, cognitive decline, and cardiovascular problems. Researchers discovered that the fiber in whole fruits helps moderate sugar absorption, but juice-dried fruits and sweetened cereals deliver concentrated sugar without protective fiber. What are the warning signs that high-sugar breakfasts are affecting your health? Watch for experiencing energy crashes 2 to 3 hours after eating breakfast or feeling hungry again shortly after finishing your meal. You may notice difficulty concentrating or feeling foggy during morning activities, and you could also experience increased cravings for sweet foods throughout the day. These signals indicate that your blood sugar is spiking and crashing rather than remaining stable. Here's the empowering truth: you can enjoy naturally sweet foods while maintaining stable blood sugar. Begin with choosing whole fruits instead of fruit juices and selecting unsweetened cereals that you can flavor with fresh berries or a small amount of honey. And slowly learn to recognize hidden sugars in breakfast foods by reading nutrition labels carefully. During your regular activities, pay attention to how different breakfast choices affect your energy and hunger levels throughout the morning. What's wonderful is stable blood sugar often leads to sustained energy and better mood throughout the day. Plus, you'll find that your natural taste preferences adjust to appreciate less sweet foods. Anyone who has experienced the frustration of feeling tired despite eating what they thought was a healthy breakfast understands that sugar content matters more than good intentions. But this is nothing compared to what comes next. Food number 3, high-sodium breakfast, meats and condiments. This particular food category is especially dangerous because it's often considered essential protein for seniors. Picture this: Frank, an 85-year-old retired mechanic who believed he needed substantial protein at breakfast to maintain his strength and energy. Frank's daily breakfast included bacon or sausage-buttered toast and often cheese, thinking this combination would keep him satisfied and support his muscle health. Frank also regularly used ketchup, hot sauce, and other condiments to add flavor to his meals. Over time, Frank developed high blood pressure that seemed resistant to medication, experienced increased ankle swelling, and felt more fatigued than he expected for his age. Frank's cardiologist eventually identified his high-sodium breakfast routine as a major contributor to his cardiovascular problems. The truth is, processed breakfast meats and condiments contain dangerous levels of sodium that can overwhelm aging kidneys and cardiovascular systems. According to research from Johns Hopkins Medical Center, a typical serving of breakfast sausage or bacon contains more than half the daily recommended sodium intake for seniors. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at processing excess sodium, and our blood vessels become less flexible, making us more vulnerable to sodium's harmful effects. Scientists found that seniors who regularly consume high-sodium breakfast foods experience higher rates of hypertension, heart disease, and kidney dysfunction compared to those who choose lower sodium alternatives. How do you know if high-sodium breakfast foods are impacting your health? Look out for swelling in your feet, ankles, or hands that seems worse in the morning or after meals. Some people notice increased thirst that persists throughout the day despite drinking adequate water, while others experience headaches or feeling heavy after eating breakfast. These indicators often suggest that your body is struggling to process excess sodium effectively. What's hopeful is reducing sodium intake can have immediate and dramatic health benefits. You can start today by choosing fresh or minimally processed protein sources like eggs, plain Greek yogurt, or unsalted nuts instead of processed meats. And over time, experiment with herbs and spices rather than salt-based condiments to add flavor to your meals. Within your normal schedule, read nutrition labels to identify hidden sodium sources and choose products with less than 200 milligrams of sodium per serving when possible. The rewarding aspect is many people notice reduced swelling and improved energy within just a few days of lowering sodium intake, and you'll experience better blood pressure control and reduced strain on your cardiovascular system. When you've dealt with unexplained swelling or blood pressure issues that don't respond well to medication, you realize that dietary sodium can be a powerful factor in your overall health. Yet this pales in comparison to what follows. Food number 4. Refined grain products and white bread. What I'm about to share will revolutionize how you think about heart-healthy breakfast grains. Let me tell you about Dorothy, an 82-year-old former librarian who faithfully followed heart-healthy eating guidelines by choosing whole-grain toast bagels and cereals for breakfast. Dorothy believed she was making excellent choices by avoiding white bread and selecting products labeled as multigrain or heart-healthy. However, Dorothy began experiencing digestive issues, afternoon energy slumps, and gradual weight gain, despite eating what she considered a healthy diet. When Dorothy worked with a registered dietitian, she learned that many of her whole-grain breakfast choices were actually refined grain products with minimal fiber and nutrients that were causing blood sugar spikes and digestive problems. Here's the reality: many breakfast grain products marketed as healthy are actually refined grains that can cause inflammation and blood sugar instability in seniors. Evidence from Stanford Medical Center reveals that processing removes most of the fiber, vitamins, and minerals from grains, leaving primarily starch that behaves like sugar in the body. Many products labeled as multigrain or wheat contain primarily refined flour with small amounts of whole grains added for marketing purposes. Researchers found that seniors who consume refined grains regularly experience more inflammation, digestive problems, and unstable blood sugar compared to those eating truly whole grains or grain-free alternatives. What are the warning signs that refined grain breakfasts are affecting your health? Be aware of feeling bloated or uncomfortable after eating bread bagels or cereal-based breakfasts. Common experiences include energy crashes in mid-morning, followed by cravings for more carbohydrates, and digestive issues like gas bloating or irregular bowel movements. These symptoms often indicate that your body is struggling to process refined starches and may benefit from higher fiber, nutrient-dense alternatives. The good news is identifying truly healthy grain products becomes easier once you know what to look for. Start by checking ingredient lists to ensure whole grains are the first ingredient and that products contain at least 3 grams of fiber per serving, and gradually experiment with grain-free breakfast options like vegetable omelets, Greek yogurt with nuts, or avocado with vegetables. Throughout your daily activities, notice how different breakfast choices affect your energy, digestion, and hunger patterns. The amazing thing is choosing nutrient-dense breakfast options often leads to sustained energy and reduced cravings throughout the day. And you'll discover that real whole foods provide more satisfaction than processed grain products. People who have struggled with unexplained digestive issues or energy fluctuations often find relief by addressing hidden, refined grain consumption. However, the most important part is still ahead. Food number 5, artificial sweeteners and diet products. Now for the final food category. This one is particularly concerning because it's specifically marketed to health-conscious seniors. Most people choose artificial sweeteners thinking they're making a healthier choice by avoiding sugar. But what they don't realize is that these synthetic compounds can be especially problematic for aging bodies and may actually worsen the health problems they're trying to prevent. Meet Agnes, an 89-year-old grandmother who switched to diet yogurt, sugar-free cereals, and artificial sweeteners in her coffee because her doctor advised reducing sugar intake for better blood sugar control. Agnes thought she was making the perfect healthy choice by eliminating sugar while still enjoying sweet flavors. However, over several months, Agnes experienced increasing digestive problems, headaches, and strangely, her sugar cravings became stronger than ever. Agnes also noticed that her blood sugar readings remained inconsistent despite avoiding regular sugar. When Agnes eliminated artificial sweeteners from her diet, her digestive issues resolved and her blood sugar became more stable. What Agnes learned changed everything. Artificial sweeteners can disrupt gut bacteria, interfere with blood sugar regulation, and may actually increase sugar cravings in older adults. Clinical studies from the Mayo Clinic show that artificial sweeteners can alter the gut microbiome, which becomes increasingly important for health as we age. Research indicates that these synthetic compounds may interfere with the body's ability to regulate blood sugar naturally and can trigger headaches, digestive problems, and mood changes in sensitive individuals. Scientists found that some artificial sweeteners may actually increase glucose intolerance, making blood sugar control more difficult rather than easier. How can you tell if artificial sweeteners are affecting your health negatively? Pay attention to experiencing headaches that seem to occur after consuming diet products or sugar-free foods. You might notice increased sugar cravings despite avoiding regular sugar, and you could also experience digestive upset, mood changes, or sleep disturbances that correlate with artificial sweetener consumption. These aren't random symptoms. They're often your body's way of signaling sensitivity to synthetic compounds. Here's the empowering truth: you can reduce sugar intake without relying on artificial alternatives that may cause other problems. Begin with gradually reducing overall sweetness preferences by using small amounts of natural sweeteners like honey or maple syrup when needed, and progressively train your taste buds to appreciate the natural flavors of foods without added sweetening. During your regular activities, focus on naturally sweet foods like berries, apples, and sweet vegetables that provide nutrients along with gentle sweetness. What's wonderful is most people find their taste preferences adapt quickly to less sweet foods. Plus, you'll find that natural approaches to reducing sugar often feel more satisfying and sustainable than artificial substitutes. Have you experienced unexpected symptoms that might be related to artificial sweeteners or diet products? Share your thoughts below. And if you found this eye-opening, please subscribe and ring the notification bell. Your engagement helps us reach more seniors who need this information. Anyone who has tried to make healthy choices only to experience unexpected side effects understands the importance of questioning whether diet products are actually beneficial. This alone could explain mysterious health issues that seem unrelated to obvious dietary choices, but significantly impact daily comfort and well-being. Final thoughts. Looking back, these 5 dangerous breakfast foods reveal that many health problems after 60 aren't inevitable consequences of aging, but preventable results of poor nutritional choices. These insights aren't just about avoiding certain foods, they're about understanding how your changing body processes nutrients differently and making choices that support healthy aging. The good news is, you now have specific knowledge about breakfast foods that could be undermining your health, and simple alternatives that can improve your energy, digestion, blood pressure, and overall well-being. You're not stuck with convenience foods or artificial products that harm your health. The choices you make tomorrow morning can start protecting your health immediately. If you've recognized breakfast habits that might be contributing to health problems, know that small changes can create significant improvements in how you feel. Tonight or today, choose one breakfast food from this list to replace with a healthier alternative, and pay attention to how you feel over the next few days. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share which breakfast food surprised you most and what healthy swap you plan to try first. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to having you join us again in the next video.